Prepare for battle.
Thanks so much, guys, and welcome back into what could be our last game of the evening for the EU qualifiers. It is Alliance versus NIP, the two Swedish squads going head-to-head. Alliance trouncing NIP in that first game. NIP going for a bit different draft here. Of course, my name is Mont. Joining me today is Blitz. Blitz, they said that they favored, every single one of them favored Alliance's draft. What do you think?
I mean, how can I disagree with Shane, who's well known for playing that Invoker? Top tier player. Really knows what he's talking about, and Suns fan. I mean, that guy was like the 44th best Centaur 8 years ago or something. The 6th.
That's some top tier talent on that couch right there.
And Purge, who played for the top tier team in Korea.
Zephyr
Dota.
Zephyr Dota.
I mean, these guys, if they're all saying Alliance, like, how can I disagree with any of them?
So you're going with Alliance?
No, I'm going with it. But I had to build it up for. I had to keep him going for a little. No, I think Alliance is a really good draft, especially if they can get this bounty rune.
Loda's getting it. Mynuts is a big beefcake. He's just gonna walk up, zone him out like a bodyguard, and essentially will grab the rune for Loda, and that means that's gonna be a bottle. 800 gold easy. Even throws up the ignite. Yonason fan. They were talking about how bad this Puck hero is. He's already taken out half of his health.
He'll be
top lane. What's wrong with Puck? He hasn't been picked from like forever except for Dendy, and they always seem to lose when they pick it for him in mid, and it's just...
Puck's the best hero in 2013.
2 years removed.
They actually completely swapped around lanes. Like, Loda went to the off lane because they know that they're going to aggressive tri lane. And this is going to leave the Beastmaster in an unfortunate position no matter where he goes. Beastmaster is just not a hero that generally wins these type of lanes.
Yep. They go for a different type of split push as well. I mean, you can have Bulldog TP in, throw down some of his boars, and try to take down the tower. But we've seen Bulldog almost exclusively play heroes with summons in these last couple of series, like particularly the Nature's Prophet as well as the Broodmother. Those two heroes in particular, which he's known for. I think the Brood wasn't something that he was known for back in the day during the TI3 days. But what is pretty standard Alliance is Loda on the Alchemist. This is like, you go back to TI3 and this was picked like a ton by either Loda or Havost. And that was such a strong carry because of course, they didn't nerf the strength gain that you got with the Chemical Rage. And now Loda's playing it again. We're back to old times, Blitz. Although, Puck is still ass, so.
You want to know a funny story about Alliance in general, I guess?
Sure.
You know that game where, the game 5 where they went for that dive at bottom?
Yeah.
And they got like triple kills solo by Havos or something like that? The GM was saying they were super sad, but he was just like, guys, it's okay, we got him. He's like, we can keep trading 3 for 1, it's whatever. Like, they were just trying to amp each other up because it was game 5. He was like, it's whatever. Like, we you know, they lost like 2 heroes. He's like, it's fine, we got the kill.
I wonder how much mentality comes into play. Like, you could lose all 5 heroes. You could make some sort of excuse and just say it's fine.
You have to. If you're at that level of play, like if you're an IP here, mentality is what's really going to determine whether you move on or not. And if, I mean, you're playing against a team like Alliance who have just veterans all across the board. Like, these are 4 of the 5 members that won TI3. When it comes to nerves, I doubt they have any of them.
They know what to do in this situation. They figured out a way to win in this meta. There are multiple ways, and I in fact think that the Shadow Fiend and Juggernaut combo, which we've seen before, can't even speak, is solid. But Limp is going to get ganked here. He won't go down. TP rotation is forced, then cancelled, so won't even waste the TP, although it does waste the gold, and he won't be able to TP again. But I mean, he won't rotate out of the lane, so Seal Kid can stay down bottom and maybe still help out Era, who is farming pretty effectively with 15 last hits. The biggest thing is that even if the Alk gets ahead, you know, the Juggernaut and the Shadow Fiend can farm so rapidly, this could still be a very even game, and NIP could easily take this with just farming those 2 heroes. But, you know, some fan getting ganked. It looks like they're going to go with the Acid Spray. He's got the Illusion Orb. He's got the Phase Shift. He might be able to use it just in time. Illusion Orb will go jaunts away. They do drop down the Tombstone. They'll zone out Mynuts. Some of the zombies going to work. What level Tombstone is it? It's level 1. It's not going to do that much damage, but it will keep Yonason fan alive. And surprisingly enough, Loda's only got 11 last hits. He did get the bounty rune, so he was provided, I think, with early boots. But nonetheless, gank's not actually completed there. Oh, by the way, he bought the bottle for S4, I should point out. So S4 has had that bottle since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, I think, in that scenario. you don't actually benefit too much from getting the bounty rune immediately, other than helping out your mid hero a lot. Like S4 is gonna have bottle boots and a wand already at the 3-minute mark, and this is gonna hurt Limp playing the mid lane so hard. Because Limp just has to pretty much rely on getting levels and chill out. But at top, Hanskin's getting really low actually.
He might die to the right click here. Loda's gonna walk in. One more right click. Great salve. It might actually stop them from diving under this tower. Hanskin's salve at the last minute will keep him alive. Jonas and Fan can't find a return kill. He's low in health as well. He has the salve. And actually, Jonas is getting great CS2 in this top lane. You talked about Limp with the Shadow Fiend. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But Hanskin walking back home, he will have to heal up, but still, he stays alive.
Staying alive, man. The BGs.
Great song.
That's all he really has to do in this mid lane. He's already going to be at a natural disadvantage because the Queen of Pain has a bottle bot for her. But as long as he kind of just survives, he should be fine. Like once he gets a few levels of raise, he can always just go to the jungle as a fallback. This bottom lane is a little bit of concern for me because Bulldog's not doing nearly as well as the Puck is. But I think you expect this. Like this is part of the issue with heroes like Beastmaster or Earthshaker in the off lanes, is that sometimes you're just going to get a straight up matchup loss.
Limp's getting ganked again, but there's another immediate TP rotation. NIP have been on point with rotating in some heroes just to make sure Limp stays alive, keeps those Necromastery stacks. 2 heroes down bottom. Minuts is rotated in. They've blown up the aggressive tri lane. They're going to pop the boar up. They have the level 2 usage of the axes, which are, of course, I believe, physical. It used to be composite. They changed that damage type a while ago. And it's just the issue with Bulldog here. I feel like, you know, it's almost like a gimmick with Beastmaster. Like, he's good in certain ways, but he just doesn't have that all-around presence that other offlaners have or other solo laners have in certain instances. Maybe I'm speaking too much. But
I don't think it's a gimmick. I think that if you're on the Radiant side especially, vision of things like Roshan is so important, and being able to protect your own jungle. They're going to actually go down here, but Bulldog's already on the other side. They're even going to drop the tombstone for this, but they should ping him out and know that this isn't going to happen. They don't have a catapult either, so this push isn't going to be that strong. But I guess they have healing ward, and they feel comfortable enough to go for this.
Yep.
They don't have a Ring of Aquila either on Arrow, unfortunately. But they should maybe...
They should get this, I think.
Yeah,
it's going to be close. There's going to be another creep wave coming in on the Radiant side, and Arrow might actually use a spin here just to clear it up real quick. The boar was actually trying to pull the creep wave back or just do some extra damage just to harass Arrow, but another creep coming through should do the job, and unless maybe Alliance TP down here, this should be a free tier 1 tower. But this does mean that they're getting farm up top again for Loda, and Jonas and Fan is actually out CSing Loda. Again, though, Loda does have that point in Grievel's Greed, so the net worth is probably even at this point. Still, though, I think NIP are playing this rather well. The big thing is that Limp is going to have to get into that jungle. He's going to have to take stacks. He is going to find a double damage rune. That could be huge for a gank if they decide to go for one.
Yeah, this bottom lane, Bulldog's going to have to time this, but it's a phase boots Juggernaut. There's no way that you're going to get that deny off, and this is just something that you expect out of Alliance. Unfortunately for them, though, their top lane isn't going that well, and Arrow's actually dropping quite low.
Oh my, the axes.
Wow, that was...
way closer than maybe he would want, but he does use the Blade Fury. He's going to salve up and he'll go back to CSing just fine. Seal Kid want to run right into my nuts.
You got to get out of here, Seal Kid.
That's going to do so much damage. You're a Crystal Maiden, you have no HP. It's like, what, level 1 Ignite, I'm sure?
Yeah, that did about half of his health. You should be really careful right now.
That's not fun. Alright, what's happening, top? Jonas' treads and 500 gold. The Blink Dagger, I'm almost certain that's what you're... Is that still what you pick up? I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, that's just a generally good item. Sets up the initiation. There's like maybe an instance where you can go for a Yules if you'd like, but I think it's going to be the Blink. Bulldog is actually going in on Seal Kid. Seal Kid will back away. S4 will rotate and maybe look for a gank. And he can't find it. He maybe just jungles a little bit or heads back to lane.
It'd be pretty absurd for him not to go for the blink at some point, but at top he uses the coil. Fortunately for him, he doesn't have the damage.
He needed another hero there for him to get that kill.
Yeah. It's fine though. His CS is still really respectable right now. And it's this Juggernaut right now that has the overwhelming amount of farm. Like, he's been actually uncontested so far. Like, Bulldog had that close Mona at bottom, but it wasn't really that close because Arrow still had phase boots up. And at the same time, like, Arrow's got the last hit on the tower. He's accelerating pretty quickly. Your Shadow Fiend is catching up in net worth to the Queen of Pain. I actually think he's like 200 behind, and your Jug is 400 ahead. And even with the bounty rune, like, look at the difference between the Alchemist and the Puck. It's not actually that much.
Yeah.
It's very little.
Again, though, you do have an Alchemist with Grievel's Greed, and they can get some roaming ganks here with S4 now hitting up his level 6, and even level 7 he has a regen rune as well, so I expect them to maybe make something happen. Aki is sitting in the tree line close to the tower here. Jonas and Fan will TP back in. They're going to bring 3 heroes up. There's no defensive wards coming through from NIP in the jungle. Minot's actually going forward. He wants Loda. They're baiting this out. This could be huge for Alliance. They might turn this around. He just has enough mana if he tread swaps again using the Sable Concoction. Dream Coil onto 3. There's the Illusion. Now the TP coming through. Loda will get away. The Waiting Rift will not do enough damage. There's the Cask. He's going to bounce to a couple of creeps as well. S4 is rotated in. Sonic Wave's going to go. He phase shifts, but he does take the damage. There's the Scream of Pain. And that is first blood. 9 minutes into the game. Surprisingly enough, nothing's actually happened. S4 in trouble. No blink for 8 seconds. They can't chase him down. They don't have the long-range raise. They won't be able to get the return kill. Lots of rotations for essentially nothing. Even Era walks up towards that top lane, and they won't find a single kill on the side of NIP.
9 minutes and you get your first blood, but that was so huge. The puck tries to go in, Loda actually goes to the TP, and what the puck was trying to go for there is he was trying to make it so that the coil breaks off in the base, and you do get the additional damage as a result, but only 1 level of Waning Rift, that's not actually going to get you the kill. And it was a good attempt, and he wanted it so badly. Like, imagine being able to kill the safe laner, or the 1 position, I should say, actually.
When you're an off-laner against a tri-lane.
Yeah, he ran into 3 heroes there. That would have been so significant.
Let me just say this, Jonas Fan is just such a goddamn player. Can we just point that out?
Yeah, he really is.
That's something that I think a lot of people have pointed out, but I just wanted to make it abundantly clear. Abundantly clear for maybe our audience that doesn't watch NIP too often.
No, he's definitely one of the big playmakers on this team. I completely agree. Like, that Tusk game, I think at one point he was 8th in net worth, and then he was the top of his team.
Yeah,
like 2 fights
He was leading. He had a Shadow Blade, nobody else had any farm, they didn't have any items, and he's just, I got this, guys, don't worry about it.
It was amazing. Bulldog is catching up too rapidly. Like, he's only 800 behind, and at one point he only had 5 CS when the puck hit like 30.
Yep. I mean, speaking of goddamn players, you have a team of Alliance, TI3 winners. You have S4, arguably one of the, or if not the best mid in the game, and he's doing great. He's been playing Queen of Pain all tournament and continue to do so. He might need to help out his squad up top. His Bulldog is about to get wrapped on. There's all 5 heroes they're committing for this. If Bulldog is able to survive, it's going to be a goddamn miracle. The Axes will get into the trees a little bit further, but they even dropped the tombstone for this. Did they get the courier? They did. It dropped right at the end there. So they get the courier, they get the kill on Bulldog, they'll stop him from farming, and it looks like they're just going to 5-man take down this tier 1 tower. No Glyph, no TP coming in, but all the meanwhile, S4, Minot's going to mid and Loda's going bottom. They're putting pressure at different points in the map. So trades are kind of, sort of going in Alliance's way. We'll see.
This is the NIP that I know, the ones that are willing to go for the 5-man aggression at just the 10-minute mark. Like, this is how you want to play NIP Dota. Get a mech up on your Shadow Fiend, start taking down towers as a group, and just minimize the solo play potential that Alliance can put on you. Because that's where I actually think that Alliance excels, is their solo play potential of players like Bulldog or S4. But when you take that away by going for the immediate 5-mans and just force teamfight after teamfight, that's where NIP kind of close the gap over their opponents.
It feels like Alliance thrive best when they have a situation where S4 and Bulldog can kind of do their own thing, especially Bulldog. I mean, he plays Broodmother and Nature's Prophet for God's sakes. I mean, he'll TP into a fight, he'll be there and at the ready, but split pushing is, at least in this patch, the name of the game. However, like you said, it is the 5-man that is being built currently for NIP. The mech will be coming very soon, I believe, for the Shadow Fiend. I think he's got 2 components. He's going to have the 3rd in just a moment. There's the drums now up on the Juggernaut as well, so they have all the items to fight early on. Jonas is getting closer and closer to that blink as well. And Loda, he's got 1,600 gold, but nothing really in the bank besides power treads and a ring of facilities. So that first big item is yet to come out. It's going to be really on S4 and maybe a good cast coming up from the Witch Doctor. See if they can stop the aggression that'll be coming from NIP in a couple of moments here.
Yeah, S4 blinks in forward mid, doesn't want to get hit by anything, is afraid that some heroes are going to be behind, but for him, should be fine. Hanskin is showing at top, but he's just trying to push in the lane, and they'll probably go for the 5-man mid once the SF has his mech, which is about now. Like, I would be really surprised if Limp Justice doesn't TP mid with the mech, and that's what he's going to go for right now, and they just immediately go for the 5-man.
Yep, they're going to want to focus down this tier 1 tower. And Bulldog is the only one in the way. They're even going to Dream Coil him. He just gets caught out of the position. He's a little too close to that river, and he'll stay alive for half a moment. But Ake will come and throw up the casket. It won't even bounce, and the Waning Rift comes out. There's the Unstable Concoction. Minus is up there as well. They pop the mech. Now, the Death Ward going through, Ake getting it off fully, but gets canceled in the end. Now Ake getting run down. There's the Frostbite. Double kill for Steelkid. Era goes in with the Omni Slash. Can they get Loda? No chemical range. He stays alive with a stick charge. They're diving the tier 3 tower. We've seen this before. S4, the sole survivor for Alliance. And IP will back up. The healing ward is up in S4. Without that Sonic Wave, he can't get a kill with the exception of Jonas and Fan, who's already done his job here, Blitz. They take 4.
That's actually all he has to do, is he initiates, and the fact that he does it without a Blink Dagger, that's absurd from the puck. He threw up so much of the attention for Alliance. The Witch Doctor drops his cast, he's forced to stay in position and use the ultimate, and meanwhile, Loda gets dove under his like tier 3 tower by a solo Juggernaut. Everything is going the way of NIP right now, and this is the way that they wanted to play in the first game too.
Yes.
Like, be able to go for the 5-man, go for these types of pushes, and I think Alliance are kind of seeing the strength of, especially the Shadow Fiend. Like, this hero itself just lends itself to 5-man,
Yes.
and this is kind of the centerpiece hero for a lot of these teams that want to go for the 5-man. That's why you see teams like IG favored so much, because you want to be able to minimize the impact of these individual players by just going for tower push after tower push and making it so difficult for them to fight Inter.
If there is one thing that is good, well, if there's one thing that's okay, it's that S4 now does have his Orchid, and he actually should be able to get this kill on Jonas and Fan. The Soul Boom will actually bring him down, and S4 was the one to survive that engagement in that mid lane, and so he will be able to pick up that kill. He's on a killing spree, and if there's any way that I think Alliance are going to be able to maybe just shorten this lead, it's going to be through S4, his Sonic Waves, and especially his pickoffs with his Orchid.
Yeah, this puck is going to be a prime target for him. I completely agree, because it's a puck. Even if he gets a Blink Dagger, there's not a lot of survivability for him as long as S4 just immediately Blink Scream Orchids at the same time, and that's incredibly easy to do. So this puck has to be incredibly careful about the types of rotations that he's going to make right now, because oftentimes NIP are going to feel like they don't need him to go for the pushes, and that's when S4 is just going to strike and look for pickoffs. Like, a 14-minute, 45-second Orchid by S4 in a situation where you don't have a single tower is incredibly fast.
I mean, his team is drastically behind. Maybe not so on the Alchemist, actually. He's getting closer and closer to what I imagine will be a Relic and a Radiance here soon. Smoke of Deceit, I'm not sure if it came out underneath that Observer Ward, but they're all backing up. You can see it. Everyone with the exception of S4 feels a little bit claustrophobic. They're kind of corralled in towards their tier 2 tower. Loda will stay behind his down in that top lane. And I think that this is going to be a big issue, this Orchid like you talked about on this puck. Maybe he will go for Eul's Scepter. More than likely, he will pick up the Blink first and then pick up a Eul's after, just so he can avoid getting Orchided up. Because that's going to be really what I think destroys him in this game. S4 looking to get this bottom tower. TP's coming through. He wants it badly. TP's coming in. Can they bring him down? He's going to blink into the tree line. He'll try to TP away, and they have no way of stopping him. Steelkid did not go for the run, and Crystal made Frostbite, so he actually stays alive. He gets the tower on top of it all, and he gets out of there.
They're going to go for the Roshan now. The reason why S4 feels so comfortable there is because if there was a gank happening on him, it would have happened like 30 seconds ago. And what that does for Alliance as well, the reason why Loda decides to wait by that tier 2 at top is because he knows for a fact at that point that if nobody is going for S4 at bottom, then they're certainly going to go for that push. And Alliance are going to know about this Roshan attempt too, just because nobody came to defend that mid tower. Like, this is just information play after information play, and Steelkid is going to drop the ward, and Alliance, they're pretty spread out right now. They don't have their Alchemists with them, and there's only 4 heroes here, so I'd be really surprised. Yeah,
they're going to let it go. S4 blink back towards mid. He says, I need to get a bit more farm. They'll give the Aegis to the Juggernaut. The split push now starting to ramp up a little bit for Loda as he has his Relic ready to go. His Radiance is not going to be far off here. The Blink Dagger has been completed by the puck, so the initiation potential is there. They actually know that S4 is in their jungle. They're going to make a kind of a beeline towards him, but I don't see them catching him out of position. We'll have to wait and see, though. There's 3 heroes to this top lane. They might want to defend this tower. Loda might need to back up here pretty soon.
Yeah, Jonas is actually coming in. He does have the Blink Dagger available. He's going to get the silence.
Nice silence. The Orchid comes up, and S4 can't get much done. There's the Dream Coral. They get the Crystal Nova with the kill on S4. A huge pickup coming out from NIP. Minuts is going to make his way out as well. There's no mana for Puck. Limp can't get there. There's the Blink board. The body blocks from Jonas and Fan. How much can he actually do? The Fire Blast will come through. Can they get there in time? They have no way of locking him down, but here comes Hanskin. Will he pop the Tombstone? No. Another great individual effort from Jonas and Fan, but it just falls short of him being able to kill Minuts.
Yeah, that could have been really good, but at the same time, you still get a kill on S4, who you really didn't expect to kill in the first place. I thought once the silence ran out, he should have been okay, but NIP threw everything but the book at him. And now the 5-man starts. Alliance are lucky to walk away with only one casualty there, though. And Bulldog, he's still getting pretty farmed. And once he has his Necrobook 3, it's going to get a lot easier for him to go for the split push. The unfortunate thing for him right now is that without S4 in the game, you can't really put a lot of pressure on the side lanes.
Orchid gonna come out, they'll find the puck again. He's in trouble, there's the Sonic Wave. Death Ward will fly. S4 did blink in, they might lose Ake because of this. Limp's gonna come through, the Axes will fly as well. It's a close range raise, is not gonna do much there to bring down Ake, but Myonuts will be, I think, the sacrificial lamb in this situation. Gets the multicast off, they'll get the tier 2 tower top lane. Now another Orchid coming out on Seal Kid. S4 is doing so much work, but there's the mech in perfect timing. They actually get the roar off. Now the Omni slash Loda gets blown up, he TP's into trouble, gets frostbitten, and Eric just goes to work with the R button press. And now they'll get another tier 2 tower more than likely.
Yeah, Loda actually had no idea that Arrow was going to be in that top area. And it looks like a misplay, but I think it's more just that Loda had no idea. He's like, if Arrow was going to be there, he would have been there like 30 seconds ago helping his team out. And he just wasn't. Unfortunately for them, he was taking that top tower, which he does get, and at the same time, they make that pincer maneuver, they lose their core, and back-to-back deaths for Alliance on their cores. Like, they lose their Queen of Pain first, their Alchemist second. Their Queen of Pain death was probably bigger, but he still almost has his BKB.
Are you talking about the one where she's at top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was their last 2 deaths. Actually,
that was the only death he had in the game for S4 so far, and I mean that is pivotal because that allows them to, you know, push down that tier 1 tower or tier 2 tower top lane. I thought they were going to stay for that tier 2 tower mid, but it might have been too close for comfort. S4 was still alive, he was healing up. They didn't have the Omni slash at the ready. The Requiem was ready to go, but there's no BKB just yet for Limp. But now they have the double damage rune for Shadow Fiend, and it looks like they're gearing up for yet another push. There might be a trade coming out here for Alliance. This will be a tier 1 tower going down. They might even be able to get back home in time to defend. There's a glyph, I believe, on both squads. Dyers will go first. S4 staying up here. BKB, with this tower going down, would be completed, or at least close to it.
I think once you see this DDSF, or actually it actually just ended, but with the Aegis available, I don't think you can really make a defense for this mid-tier 2 anyways. And that's going to be a free tower. NIP looks like they want to keep going because they realize S4 top is quite low, and they just want to force Alliance to come back, and I think you disengage and just immediately go for the bottom push. Like, this play to go into the high ground in the mid lane isn't meant to actually go into the high ground, it's just to make it so it's really absolute, that Alliance have to think to themselves, we have to get back. And if NIP doesn't go for that play, then they go for this bottom tier 2, and S4 and Bulldog just continue to push that top thing, the top tier 2 tower down. And then what have you really gained? You lost a tier 1 and a tier 2 for a tier 1 and a tier 2.
Forces the TPs back from the side of Alliance and makes it so the split push stops in a nutshell. And that's huge. And they'll head back towards top, but by the time S4 gets up here, this tier 2 tower bottom lane is going to get pressured. They still have that glyph. There's no glyph now on the side of NIP, but they will, I'm sure, TP 1 or 2 heroes up here so S4 can't continue to split push. They're just trying to elongate this game, just making sure this Alchemist can get enough farm.
You know the TPs are on CD. Like, there's no reason to not keep going for this.
There still is that glyph, but you're right. When does S4 have its TP? In 8 seconds. It's got to take some time. He might get this tier 2 tower top lane, but there's got to be some decent damage dealt to this tier 3 tower unless they can come up with something big here. And Loda pops his Chemical Rage early. He doesn't have it for a team fight now if they decide to go for one. Air will back up. They're playing a game of chicken. The Blade Fury will go, the cast will spin, and it'll hit up onto the Seal Kit as well. Era just Blade Furying down this tier 3 tower with his right click's going to work as well. Hanskin walks up, pops the Tombstone, the Decay will fly. They take down the tier 2 top lane, so they will get some extra bit of gold for S4. And they'll finally TP back home now. And they should see S4, and this might be the time to back up, but instead they'll go in first. S4 pops the BKB and then blinks back. This BKB will be down in a couple of seconds, and IP will try to maybe just ride it out.
Just slow roll it, wait for the BKB to end. You've got the mech available still on the Shadow Fiend and the Healing Ward. They could decide to go back if they want to, but I don't think they should. Like, continue to press your advantage.
This is a pivotal point. If Alliance can take this fight and turn it around, suddenly they might be back into the game. They don't spot Loda, the waiting rift. It was a guess. He guessed he didn't have vision, but there's the Omni Slash, but it's only on Myonuts, and it actually goes to the creeps, the Necro Warriors. Blade Fury, now he gets rolled up as well. He still has his mid style. He needs to get that heal. They pop the mech off. Requiem will go. Limp in trouble. Blink away from S4 at a beautiful time. The Death Ward. Limp is in trouble. He'll fall. They can't take the racks. They have to back now. Or will they? They're gonna jump in. No Dream Coil. No, they haven't. They even silenced up S4. Ake's low, but they won't bring him down just yet. The Orchid came out of Dionis, and he couldn't get that Dream Coil off. Seal Kit gets so ripped up. They want to chase this. The Axes. They do hit on Jonas. The phase shift was not there, and they do grab the kill. They're gonna grab one. They're gonna grab two for S4. Gets the double. They turn it around. Big defense coming out of the side of Alliance.
I mean, as for Dota, the fact that they were that far behind, a 2,000 gold net worth swing for them all the way through. They killed the Shadow Fiend at the same time. That was such a clutch play by Alliance, being able to stay alive. S4 doesn't have the BKB. Doesn't even matter. He just constantly repositions himself over and over again in the fights. And then Ake with the Death Ward, he knows that the Shadow Fiend is low. The Shadow Fiend had to use the mech in the first place just to get Era up to decent HP, so when the actual damage came in the form of the Queen of Pain and the Witch Doctor, he had nothing to be able to defend himself, even with his BKB available. And now this is going to make NIP think twice about what they should do. Probably the move is just to wait for the Roshan. I feel like we've seen this before from NIP. I think it was a game that you and I casted actually, where they decided to go for that tier 3 push at bottom and they take the tower, but they lose a bunch of heroes and then they go for the Roshan again. I think it was an okay idea, but it's just well played by Alliance. Like, they force out the mech and the Soul Rip by just using the Beastmaster Roar onto the Juggernaut, who's spinning anyways.
Wow, big cooldowns. And with that defense now, that does give the top of net worth to the side of Loda. They're going to find a Dream Coil on Minuts. They'll probably get this kill, more than likely, and he gets blown up within the span of a couple of seconds. A kill's a kill, and actually provides them maybe the opening they're looking for to take Roche, which is, we don't know when it's going to be up yet. And the timer on the right side might have come up, but I haven't seen it. But how much does this affect NIP, for example? They have a Juggernaut and an SF still. That's still a very good late game combination, but Loda is becoming beefier and beefier, and S4 is doing such good work as he split pushes top.
I don't think it is that great of a late game combination. I think Jug is a hero that does start to fall off, especially when he can't get his ulti off. And if you just take a look at his levels, that's the biggest deficit for me. Right now, that's a level 12 Juggernaut that doesn't actually do too much for you right now. You've got Loda who's level 13, but you've got a level 16 Queen of Pain already. That's something that is going to cause you a little bit of concern right now if you're NIP. Like, your Juggernaut's ultimate, you saw him use it at bottom right. Like, he pops it on the Ogre, like 3 hits happen, and they don't even kill the Ogre. Or they actually do, but not in the time span of the Omni Slash. And that's got to be pretty worrying right now for NIP.
Yeah, Arrow right now is trying his best to become a right clicker and just to get those levels to get to that level 3 ultimate. But for now, he's not accomplishing that much. He has his Mantis style. He's picked up an ultimate order for maybe a Scotty later on down the road. They have the Hawk Vision up at Roshan. They absolutely know that this is available for Alliance if they want to go ahead and try to take it. Maybe go for a smoke play, try to find a pick off, and then go from there. But for sure, NIP do exactly what you were talking about. It looks like they're going to get a ward up here. They're going to try to go for this Roche, and they're going to try to take it down. They can take it down pretty quickly. They have the presence of the Dark Lord. I don't think they have a medallion, but they have the Jug right click, which is very solid as well. Jonas fan might be caught out. He's gonna back away.
He's got heals. This is really scary though now for NIP because Alliance are about to pick up a lot of huge items.
They're gonna smoke.
Yeah, and Loda's coming in right now. He pops his ultimate already just to make sure that he has enough mana for this fight.
They're gonna take Roche down, but the ensuing team fight after, will it happen? Fire Blast comes in, they get the Aegis, Shadow Fiend walks out, and now they back up. They make the call. They're gonna try to kill all the summons as well, and they'll do a good job of it. And so now Alliance are on the back foot. They were close to getting there in time, but S4 blinking backward. They won't be able to find him. He's too far away at this point. He's gonna head into the tree line. Maybe they will. Jonas fan, he's got the Illusory provision. He's got the Dream Coil. S4 blinks into the trees further. I think Yoda fan knows that he's there, but he can't really quite get there until he has his blink up. Ooh.
S4 Dota?
Just misses and he blinks towards the other side. Jaunt through, he does, but it's a little bit too late. And
S4 Dota?
He's wasting so much time.
Alright.
Play the Benny Hill music, dear God.
No. Alright, S4 is just actually messing with him at that point. I'm seeing Purge smile on the couch too. Like that was an entertaining moment.
All the while,
if Kevin's smiling, you know that was a fun play.
What a stoic man.
I think you just decided to go for this though, even with the split push happening. Like, you just hope that Bulldog can't take this as quickly. And he's doing a lot of damage to that tower right now.
Bulldog going to work with the racks down bottom, in trouble as well. They've got the glyph, they might have to use it soon. Bulldog, and meanwhile top, tier 3 tower almost done. The glyph will come out, and IP have already used their glyph as well. There's the Glimmer Cape, they can't quite go for this. Sonic Wave, Era in trouble, doesn't have the agent, but the Omni Slash, and now S4 might be forced to buy back. Jump in, there's the Dream Coil. Lotus got his Chemical Rage, he's healing up as fast as he can. Minus about to fall, the last couple of right clicks. Lotus staying alive, but just barely, and there it is. Limp getting the double kill, and the Alk will have to buy back with no Chemical Rage. S4, does he have his BKB? No. His Orchid is up, but they've lost their racks, but the trade top lane, Bulldog going to work, getting it done. Nobody TP back yet. There's the Requiem, doesn't hit on anybody. They need to TP home, but it's too late. It's a racks for a racks. You could say that NIP won the fight. They forced out the buybacks, but Bulldog, the rat that he is, again, how many times have we freaking seen this? Once again, he gets it done.
I'm gonna say this as a compliment, even though it doesn't sound like it. Bulldog might be the most annoying player in competitive Dota to play against.
Yep.
I mean that just like with utmost respect. It's such a hassle to deal with him as a player because he's constantly doing stuff like this to you. Like you're losing a team fight, you know, they've got an Aegis. He's like, whatever, we're not gonna win this fight. And I think he made the correct decision there. Like even if he was down there, they were gonna get destroyed in that fight. So you might as well just go for the equal trade. It cost NIP so much. It took them 2 Roshan attempts just to be able to take down that bottom racks. Bulldog just kind of walks up and he's like, just
out in this fight.
He's like, whatever, guys. Yeah, deal with it.
You guys can do whatever. I'm going to take the racks and we'll go from there. And he actually gets it done. I mean, they did force out so many buybacks, though, that if they decide to push again and if they kill the Alk and the Queen of Pain, and if Bulldog's not split pushing them, the game is, I think, essentially over. But that has to happen within the next 5 minutes or so.
You don't have the Aegis for very much longer. 2 minutes remain on that one. Limp is going to immediately go for the push.
They have to force, they have to push out this wave. They can't really afford it getting into the base, essentially, so that Bulldog can wrap in and just go to work on that tier 3 tower mid.
Lotus almost got knocked
They have tier 2 towers still. So that's the good thing. They still have tier 2 towers, and so
Limp is in a pretty gankable position right now.
They're rotating in, though, on the other side.
Is this really the hero that you want to go for right now?
Look at this bait. Look at
Alliance
this bait.
doesn't know.
Bulldog is about to get the roar off on Limp. He's gonna blink away. They decide, okay, maybe it's not worth it now. They'll find Ake. Do they find Bulldog? There's the Omni Slash, but he's got his Necro summons. And Admiral Bulldog getting slowed down. They'll finally lose him. He's no buyback. John forward, S4 gonna try to cut the creep wave. Maybe there's the Yules up. They're gonna find Minus as well on top of it, and he should have buyback available. They won't even. Will they dive him? They're gonna go for it. Jump in with his blink dagger. They lose her back out, jaunt away from Jonas and Fan, and Air will pick up that kill. He'll have to buy back the tier 3 tower. They're cutting the creep wave with S4. It's not quite coming just yet, and there's no creep wave coming through mid either. Backdoor protection's gonna kick in pretty soon. Can they get the melee racks in time? They're gonna grab it, it looks. They still have that one range creep in the back lines. That's doing the work.
Stay alive, buddy.
Lemon in trouble. Force forward. S4 looking for it. Blinks away in the end, and they're gonna lose a second set of racks. Great wraparound smoke from NIP, and they are still in this series. They want to force this to a game 3, and it looks like with that racks going down, it might just happen.
I think that Shadow Fiend is just about to lose the Aegis, but the fact that they were able to get that wraparound, Alliance probably thought to themselves, let's just get 1 kill, like force the Aegis out so they think about going for the high ground. And then NIP were just 2 steps ahead of them. They're just like, we're actually going to go for our own counter smoke around, and they had no idea that that was going to happen. Like, Alliance probably thought to themselves, actually I know what the mentality there is, or at least I think I do, is they're so far ahead, why would they go for that smoke? It's just unexpected.
That's actually amazing. That smoke did so much for them. A great call coming out from NIP. They'll take the smoke, they'll take the kills, they'll back away. There is an Octarine core now up for the Alchemist with the Mantis style. His illusions are going to get thrown out so freaking often. He becomes essentially a Naga at this point. And Air almost has his Scotty at the very least, but they're going to try to force out at least a... Is there a glyph available? No. They're going to try to maybe force a buyback or 2. If they can kill one of these big cores, they're going to be in a huge spot. And then the game's just over, I think, at that point. If they kill S4 especially, I think that the game's just over.
Yeah, you can't defend Megacreeps with the heroes that you have, or not easily anyways. Like, NIP can just kind of push in straight through.
So what's the call here? Do you go or do you wait for the next stages?
I honestly think NIP can pretty much do whatever they want. If they decide to wait for it, what ends up happening, though, is that Alliance will take the fight outside the base. I'm pretty certain. The problem, though, is that Alliance can't really go for the split push anymore because you only have one structure remaining. It's kind of like that thing in Ender's Game where it's just like the buggers will win because all it takes is for them to kill Earth.
Nice.
All right.
S4 is going to get Dream Cold waiting, rifted as well. He pops the BKB. There's the Roaring Arrow. They get the Glimmer Cape off. The Sonic Wave doesn't do that much damage, but look at that. The huge Death Ward coming out from Ake, blowing him up. He's got buyback, but no boots of travels, and now they're on the run. They're on the run.
You got to get out.
He's going to have to go for this. BKB. There's the Yule's up, so the out kid stun. Not that it would matter, the BKB keeping him safe and sound. There's the jaunt away, which avoids that unstable concoction. Notice if they will blink away as well. They will only pick up the jug. They do hold their tier 3 tower, and they get a kill on a big core in the process.
Right now, Alliance, hold of their life. This Juggernaut, he's not very tanky. He had to use his Manta style to go for the high ground. Then he just kind of gets blown up. I don't even know how Alliance decided to hold that, but they do. And I think this is definitely going to prompt NIP to just wait for the next Roshan. Give it to your Juggernaut or your SF and just send one of those heroes to the high ground.
I felt like that was their time though. Top lane was pushed in pretty far, bottom lane was pushed in pretty far. And now Loda with the Octarine Core Illusions can push out pretty much any lane he wants, I think. You just send your Mad to Illusions, split push, be annoying, use your
That is
Ashen
so
Spray.
annoying right now. 22 seconds on the cooldown. Your images last for 20 seconds. It's like a 2-second refresh rate.
Send him out bottom, comes off cooldown, send him out top, and then just have him go to work. And he's still getting farm. His Greevil's Greed is max. He's level 3 ultimate as well, so the Chemical Rage HP regen is pretty high now. Health regen of 100, which is pretty damn good.
It's okay. He's keeping himself alive.
It's not quite the, whatever he got, which was just either the flat HP or strength. I can't remember from the last Alchemist, but pretty solid hero.
Yeah, poor Ake. He thinks he's gonna get an Aghanim Scepter.
He bought a BKB.
He's just like straight buys a BKB. I actually think that's a really good pickoff because there's nothing from NIP that can cancel the Witch Doctor ultimate when he has the BKB going.
Unless they get a Abyssal Blade, but I don't see that. First of all, he's not going to be able to get close enough. He's not going to get close enough to be able to Abyssal Ake most of the time. And secondly, he doesn't even have a Basher, so let's not even get to that point. But Roche is going to be up in, I don't know, I think this is the actual Roche timing. I think it's up in like 10 seconds.
I think you need BKBs, or not BKBs, butterflies, if you're NIP. It would help so much.
Air already has a Talisman of Evasion, so he agrees with you on that point. Solid choice. Well done. Jonas fan, what does he have? 4 staff, 3.4k gold. Okay.
Alright, this is the Aegis and Cheese push now.
And it looks like there's no way Alliance are going to contest this. S4 would have to TP back now. And
that is a really farmed Undying, by the way. And he's got like the weirdest item set too. He's got a Crimson Guard, a Veil, and a Vlad's.
Yeah, that's
like the sick utility.
He's all dressed up. He's got like a chest piece, he's got a cloak and a mask.
Okay, here it is. Loda, the #1 homie. Wow, he even said thanks, man. Do you know that?
Wow, he actually did say that. That's crazy. As he gave him the Aghanim Scepter, the Witch Doctor said thanks. Or that could have just been saying in text. And then it's even more meta.
Ultimate bro love.
Then Ake's actually like typing that out when he could just say it.
I think that's an actual interaction between the heroes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
I would have believed in the bromance. S4 is going to go ahead and back up. He has done a great job. Bulldog obviously finished off S4's work when he went up top and he finished off the racks, but S4 has made his home in his top lane for a long period of time. Alliance finally gathering the strength and courage to maybe get outside of their base for a little bit, have maybe a little bit of jungle farming going their way. Loda is working on his next item, whatever that is.
He has to farm for his life right now. Like, man, Alchemist is such an absurd hero. Like 2 seconds ago, he just bought a full Ag for his Witch Doctor, and he didn't have buyback, and I thought that was going to be a worrying point. And now he's like the only person in the game with buyback.
Oh my god, the fact that the going BKB is even crazier now because he just farmed that Ags up for him for the Witch Doctor. Like that is, again, there's so many supports that have great teamfight ultimates, but that might just be the best with a BKB when there's just nothing to stop you from unleashing your fury on the world. And it's level 2, so it's not that puny level 1 damage anymore. He'd like it to be level 3, but the damage is still going to be pretty significant on a lot of these heroes.
Yeah, they don't have the Crimson Guard available on Houndskin. He actually misclicked it, I think, when he was trying to use the smoke.
Oh.
But it shouldn't matter too much. It's just one of those little things that add up. If for the side of Alliance, though, your teamfight is going to get so much stronger because of this Witch Doctor Aghanims. Like, this could be what turns the game around for you, because now your Witch Doctor is sort of a core. And if Ake just kind of positions himself correctly, it's going to be really hard for them to go for these high ground pushes. But NIP are just going to kind of circumvent the defense and go from around to make this as spread out and easy as possible for them. They've actually got a Jonas Infant with an Aghanim Scepter now,
too. There's the Yules. They're going to find the Beastmaster. Will they go for this? There's the Orchid coming out. Mantis out of it. The Omni slash Bulldog done. No buyback available. Sonic Wave on it, too, doing some work for S4. The Death Ward fully unleashed, and the potential is there. They'll take down Seal Kid, but in trouble. Hanskin backing away. Here comes the jug. S4 going down. Dead for 86 seconds. Loda getting kited. He's just not that fast. They'll pop the Unstable Concoction and limp the right clicker at the range position, and now pops the Manta, but the Blade Fury will do just enough, it looks like. In the last right click, he was healing with the acid spray, but he will be forced to buy back. Minot's backing away, as well as S4, who just bought back into the game. They lose Seal Kid and nothing else, and somehow that Death Ward, it just doesn't do enough. The Sonic Wave, they did so much damage, wasn't quite there. Force forward, they were trying to take down S4, he gets silenced up as well. His BKB uncooled up for 26 seconds or 20 seconds. Satanic pop for limp, going to work. Loda trying to man mode, but he doesn't really have the damage. He's got so much magic damage with the Radiance, with Doctor Core, but Limp now in trouble. He's got the edge of the Soul Rep. They might have to leave him out to dry. They'll defend their racks again. Buybacks forced, but Alliance are not done yet. They're turning it around. Hans get in trouble. He's out of mana. There's the Roar. Limp in trouble. Silence is up, and they're going to leave him behind. He's the martyr for the cause. They'll pop the BKB. The Requiem will go, but it's not going to do nearly enough. Are they going to try to turn this around? Here comes Era. Limp's BKB wears off just
You gotta get out, Era. There's no way that you're gonna be able to survive
too much.
this.
S4 gets the double kill. He has to pop the drum charts. He's got one left in the tank. He has the cheese. Unstable Concoction could come soon. Bulldog, he's got Blink but no Roar. Air will pick up an Invis rune. Do they have a gem? They should have some sort of detection. He should be safe. And they will defend their racks again, Blitz. One more time, Alliance not willing to say GG just yet.
I mean, they're one game away from getting to the Frankfurt Major, and this was a team that, going into this event, everybody just kind of looked down upon them, but and they're making the hold over and over again, and NIP, they've got to start getting pretty nervous about this, because this is their third time they've been rebuffed. You can't really afford to go for a fourth one and a fifth one, because if the same result happens, Alliance will always feel comfortable. Fortunately for them, they did force the buybacks out, and that was what... That's a pretty significant investment, but I think at this point, Alliance actually just kind of go for a counter push on their own. It's pretty difficult to ask not to die for the next 5 minutes on any of their cores, but S4 blinks forward.
And there's the Yule Scepter coming out. The Shiva's Guard will go. The 4-step away, and the Illusior followed by the John. S4 wants to continue chasing. There's a Glimmer Cape out, and there were a lot of heroes behind him too. I want to point out there is that Aghanim Scepter on the puck now, so their BKBs, they will get caught. They will be stunned. The Death Ward will not go on if he gets off that Dream Coil. That's a huge item pickup too. But Alliance feeling so confident, they're pushing now. They want to force out buybacks. They want to force the game into their hands. Both of the cores for NIP have the buybacks. There's the force out. The Sonic Wave not going. Everybody caught with the Dream Crawl. The freezing field doing work. Bulldog will fall first. S4 in trouble. The Death Ward fully completed, fully going, but they have a huge not Glimmer Cape, but rather the Crimson Guard going to work. 3 dead. They turn around. No buyback coming up from Loda, who gets blown up. Arrow trying to chase down Ake. Cask is bouncing. There's the Illusion up, jumping and gets slowed up as well. The zombies with the Death Blast and the right click. Air with the Scotty. They'll take 4 down, and this might be it. The GG, the game number 3 coming up here. If NIP could just bring this in and get these Mega Creeps.
They've got buybacks on both their supports, but I don't think this is going to be enough. NIP with a beautifully executed fight. Jonas and Fan just popped that Dream Coil in the middle of like 5 different heroes when they went for the push.
There's a 5-man coil, yeah. That's huge.
And Alliance, they had to all in commit for the Shadow Fiend because of that Satanic BKB combination, but they were unable to do so. I don't think they're going to be able to hold Mega Creeps.
No.
Without Loda alive for 50 seconds, I think NIP actually can even decide to go further if they want.
And they'll back away. They'll make the smart play. The game's not over till the game is not over till it's over. But this is Mega Creeps, and there's very few situations when you're this far down, when you have no buybacks, when you're down almost 20k gold, that you'll be able to come back into this game. And it would have to be a miracle. But they've pulled off miracles before. Alliance are going to posture themselves down in the bottom lane. Jonas and Fam is just going to blink in, try to get closer. They've cleaned up all the buildings down bottom. There's still a couple effigies and buildings and moonwells here and there for the mid and top lanes, so they'll have to clean those up as well. But the tier 4 towers are exposed nonetheless. So where do you go from here? I mean, you don't have buybacks. You lose one more team fight. I think NIP probably just wait for the next Roche, which is in how long exactly? We'll find out in about a minute.
I think you just go for the next Aegis if you're an IP, or force Alliance into one of those do or die situations again. Because Alliance, the reason why they decided to go for that push is all their buybacks are off cooldown. They're down for 5 minutes. NIP can just kind of play like smoke 3 times in a row, eventually catch somebody out, and then the game ends anyways. So you might as well just go for the offensive and force things on the side of NIP's turf, and maybe go for some sort of like magic play. But unfortunately that wasn't the case. That puck ultimate just destroyed them.
Yes.
That alone kind of makes that hero sort of viable.
That Aghanim Scepter. And he got that pretty quickly too. It seemingly came out of nowhere after that fight mid.
Yeah, that 6-second coil duration is pretty absurd.
It's disgusting.
It's actually 8 seconds with Scepter, and it's a 4.5-second break that goes through spell immunity, so nobody wants to leave that circle. That's
an insane stun at this level, like at this stage in the game. That's more than enough time for Limp to right-click you down, for the Omni Slash to get off, for anything to really happen. And really what set that fight up also was the great support play. They Glimmer Capes and forced back the Shadow Fiend when he got caught out of position. Sure, I think he took the Sonic Wave damage, but in the end, it kept him alive. He had a Satanic at the ready.
Yeah, this Beastmaster pick just hasn't paid off for them right now. They haven't been able to find the space. He was too exploitable in the lane. The Beastmaster sort of made sense, but they just weren't able to contest anything at any point. And Bulldog just really got abused in the lanes. Like,
yes.
When he went for that top lane push, it was really cute, and I think that's part of the reason why they picked the Beastmaster for him. But eventually you run out of that head of steam, and when NIP just decide to say, okay, yeah, you can take a Rax, who even cares? Like, we'll just go for the base.
Following age-old wisdom, S4 will pick up the Maelstrom, one of the key items for defending against Megacreeps, another being of Lads or something along those lines. Maelstroms on any hero in this particular instance would be helpful. The good thing is they do have an Alchemist, and I mean, he's playing like a Naga now. Naga can pretty much push out creep waves and do everything that he can do. But
this actually is like the Naga build, minus the fact that he's not going for an AC. This was a pretty Naga.
I can see a Naga going for an AC. I wouldn't particularly like it, but I could see him building one if need be. But he's just gonna throw up his illusions and just try to keep this pushed out. And it feels like Alliance can't get out of their base now. I mean, that's what Megacreeps do to you, though. That's what you kind of accept. They kind of have to wait until NIP come to them. And the collateral damage is going to be so large that if they take a team fight, the creeps get inside the base, they lose a tier 4 tower or 2, they have to buy back on a couple of heroes. The chance of Alliance turning this game around seems slim at best.
You know how I know that it's been a 5-man game? Like, everybody's just been 5-manning? It's the amount of CS that supports have in the game. If you take a look, I know it seems like an arbitrary stat, and it probably is, but when you've got 24 CS on a Witchstalker and 34 on an Ogre, you know you've just been playing defensive 5-man Dota.
It's even more indicative when you look at the items that he has. It's like, you have 24 last hits, somehow he has a BKB and an Aghanim Scepter. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah. On the other side of things, NIP, I mean, Hanskin just has so much farm, despite the fact that he's got almost no farm at all. It's just been the product of him being in so many kills. He's been 19 assists, 3 kills of his own, and only 1 death so far.
That's insane. 1 death on an Undying.
Oh yeah, that's really impressive.
The Soul Rip, I'm sure, is helping out a lot in these particular instances. It's so hard to keep track of everything that's going on in these team fights that it's hard for me to tell when and where he's using the Soul Rip. Most likely on himself, most likely on one of the carries. Who knows?
This is such a late Roche, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. I actually I wanted to know that information myself.
That's gotta be like near the max, right?
Yeah, it is. It's about 10 seconds away from max Roche respawn. The tick right there, that's about to hit. That little bar is the max which is weird. I guess that's just kind of how the clock works because it's an 11-minute timer. So, anyways.
All right, here we go.
Mechanics aside, it's now up and ready to go, and this is Aegis and Cheese again. I guess you drop your mech, maybe, or is that too important still for the Shadow Fiend? What do you actually do in this situation?
No, I think you dropped the mech.
Yeah, he did drop the mech. And they're gonna give the cheese to Air, who dropped, I believe,
a cheese. He dropped a cheese for a cheese.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
You might as well stack them up on your really hard to kill heroes, anyways.
Yeah.
The mech starts to matter a lot less when you've got Megacreeps defending you.
Yep.
This healing ward too.
Oh god, yeah, that's something we haven't talked about too.
The healing ward control's been excellent. Alright.
There's been a couple dives where they've won the fight just based off of the healing ward.
Yeah, here we go.
The Assault Cuirass is now done. And it's going to take a hell of a team fight for Alliance to keep their base intact, number 1, and to keep their heroes alive, number 2.
They're far away from buyback too. This Alchemist completed the AC, he's not quite there yet. The fortunate thing for Alliance though is they still have both of their tier 4 towers available. What this means is if you manage to hold this push and actually 5-man wipe NIP, you have enough in the bank, like your towers are strong enough that you can just go for the immediate 5-man yourself. And it'll be enough.
But you have to take down NIP twice. They have buybacks on every single one of their heroes.
I mean, I'm trying to make this okay for them.
I know, it's so hard.
You're down Megacreeps versus a lineup.
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Alliance will hold on for dear life. They are so close, just one game away, but so far because they have no racks. They'll have a couple of Hawks scouting things out, but they're smoked up on the side. They're going to go for low to the Dream Coil. Miles away, he's going to pop the Chemical Rage. He's going to break the 4.5-second stun now in process. Look at the right click. Limb going to work. There's going to be the Death Ward going through. There's no Aghanim Scepter, but Ake getting blown up with the right click still. Death Ward doing work. Limb throws the Satanic. Era spins away. The cheese pop just at the end of his lifespan, and S4 blinking away. No more Witch Doctor. No more Witch Doctor ulti. Bulldog barely survives, but now the base starting to take some carnage here. Loda still alive. The Chemical Rage keeping him up and fighting. Maybe not the best Aghanim Scepter Dream Coil from Yonason fan, but they don't lose much. They lose the Seal Kid CM, and at this point, it's a glorified creep. Hanskin getting caught out. There's going to be the sounds coming through. They looked for the Winning Rip. They couldn't find it. There's the Axis. S4. Does he have 5-act? No, but Loda does. Loda pops the Chemical Rage. Eric going to work. Tier 4 tower in some trouble. Not dead yet. Still there. Force forward. Look at S4. Silenced up but not dead. Limp now. Gets Glimmer Cape. Pops the Satanic yet again and will try to heal back up. It's taking so much damage. He's got the Aegis. He's fine. First tier 4 now down. Alliance hanging out for dear life. S4 jumps back in. Great Yules. Ags. And of course that Dream Coil back up in 8 seconds. That's the biggest, most important facet of this fight more than likely. But now Limp's just going to work. He's going to stun himself. Loda couldn't get it off. He'll have to buy back, but with no Chemical Rage, S4 pops the BKB. They're being corralled into the well. Look at this. The Ancient in dire straits. TP's coming in for the buyback. At Seal Kid with Boots of Travel. Loda gets caught out, has to pop the Mantis down. BKB goes again, this time from Ake. They'll use, of course, the Dream Coil, but it's not nearly enough. The Death Ward goes, it's back on cooldown. Satanic once again, staying alive, but no Aegis this time. The Requiem will go, the Death Requiem. Now no buyback just yet, but Yodas and Fan will, are they going to go all in? Air's going to walk back, they will. They'll buy back. They're going to get the SF to TP back into the fray. Air's going to just bounce out.
Right now.
This is just too much. And they're throwing the game. They're throwing the game away. The Ancient is taking damage, but they've not won yet. They buy back. They don't die, luckily, on that core, that Limp SF.
Alright, Limp actually uses buyback, so now his buyback's on cooldown for the next 5 minutes. Fortunately for them, Era still has one available, but still, I mean, NIP. Now this is a really tricky situation. Like, Limp, I believe, not like Jonas and Fun actually uses buyback too. So the only ones that you really have it available on are the Jug. So I say all, what Alliance should do now is push out that top lane and that bottom lane as far as it can go, send the illusions mid, and just make a mad dash.
And hope for the best team fight of their lives. Coming back from Megacreeps, what a story would be for Alliance, and it's not that unfeasible. They have now the Maelstrom, which will be replacing the Quelling Blade in Loda's inventory.
They didn't lose the game when there was like 5,000 creeps surrounding him at 5
Dude, he hit 4 Satanics, I'm pretty sure. 3 or 4 Satanics on Limp. How do you not? There were 2 Death Wards, there were 2 Aghanim Scepter Dream Coils coming out from Yonason Fan. I'm sure there were probably 2 Omnislashes too, maybe I didn't see with everything going on.
Dota's just like the most confusing game in the world. There's like 8,000 creeps available. Nobody really loses the game. I don't even know what's going on right now. Alright, here we go. So the top lane is super pushed in. The bottom lane has done a decent job too. Bulldog's gonna send his board. They've got a few heroes without Boots of Travel. That's kind of cause for a concern right now. If they had Boots of Travel, maybe they could continue on, but this is kind of the move that Alliance have to make at this point, because you're not really going to be able to hold on against Megacreeps for much longer. But at the same time, I feel like NIP can just they can go for the split push play on their own. And I think Alliance actually realized that, because they know we have no Boots of Travels. If we decide to get into a prolonged fight, we just lose our base and lose the game.
The Megas down bottom are inching closer and closer.
You can't push without Travels.
They smoked up as if they were going to go in for a fight, but they just had to go back home. And
oh, this was such a good opportunity for them too. But without Travels available, Like, if all 5 of them show mid, and none of them have boots of travel, the game is over. It doesn't even matter if you kill like 4 heroes. All the SF does is TP.
Oh, it's gonna be down bottom. Just take your ancient real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's not gonna happen. They will defend the bottom lane, but NIP inching closer and closer. All of the abilities off cooldown. Buyback status still not there for Limp. 4.5 minutes away. They lose Limp. Maybe they have an opportunity, but they pretty much have to lose nobody in these team fights if they're for Alliance. Otherwise, the game is done. I say that, but the team fight has to go immaculately. I'll use that term for Alliance in order for them to keep this game even, or not even, but
I mean, this Alex
he's just running
an absurd.
There's
oh,
the
look,
roar.
doesn't got buyback.
They're gonna
He can't afford to die.
Crimson Guard, did they get the death ward off? He's in trouble. Top of his Sandanic, he will go down the Requiem, but look at Seal Kid popping the ult. Look at the Omni Splash. Loda's going to work though. His attack speed is insane. I can't believe it. They 5-man wiped him. They're all freaking dead.
Do not buybacks.
They
only on the
just go right down mid. Aki's already heading down there. The freaking Witch Doctor. What's happening?
Oh my god.
It comes down to Era and Seal Kid right now. Seal Kid doesn't have his ult. Era doesn't have his ult.
I mean, Loda's just playing goddamn whack-a-mole. He's just going to town. He's like, hit.
Ice shot.
Alright, Seal Kid buys back, but that's like the least threatening thing in the entire world. What you have to do right now, Loda, push this bottom lane. Go for the top push as well. Do this as fast as you possibly can. You have boots of travel available now. This is your best opportunity for a win. I mean, I can't even believe that Alliance is doing it. I don't know if the NIP are going to be able to hold.
They have to get through the glyph, they have to get through the tier 2, and they have to get through the tier 3.
But if you looked at how that last fight went, how do you win?
So
you don't have souls on your shadow team.
Look how quickly they kill this tower.
Oh my god, Alliance are actually going to win this game.
They're going to win with Megacreeps. They were down 20k.
This doesn't make sense.
This game's actually over. Straight into the base right now. The tier 3 getting assaulted. They're going to TP in with S4. The glyph will go.
No, Loda's going to take this faster than the Shadow Fiend responds. They're going to win this game.
They have to buy back an Era. He's got to do something, and he's just not in the fray yet. He's got to buy. They cannot resign their fate just yet. This game is now hanging in the balance of maybe Era on the Juggernaut, but it's just not enough. He's not even buying back. He's waiting. He's waiting and holding. The Ancient now exposed. There's the buyback. It comes almost
this game's actually
done.
Loda's just gonna hit it.
They're gonna use the ultimate with Seal Kid.
Oh my god!
Where's the Omni Slash? He can't get off. It's on cooldown for 13 seconds. No! Off the tombstone. Not like this. It's gonna go.
Oh my god!
Take it. They take it. They win this series 2-0 and they will move to the majors. I can't believe it. They were down 20,000. They were down Megacreeps. Their tier 4s were gone and their Ancient was almost destroyed. And one team fight from an Alchemist. What a goddamn way to end the night, Blitz. Oh my god, holy shit.